What's up, everyone? Welcome to my YouTube channel, and please hit the like button and subscribe. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I scraped over 50 pages of Jumia's website in under 20 minutes. This is something that if you want to do it manually, it could take you weeks or months to even do if you're not persistent enough. But this, I did it in under 20 minutes. I'm going to show you guys how. The tool I use for this is JupyterLab, but you could use your Jupyter notebook or your VS Code. It's totally fine, right? So what I did was I imported requests, I imported beautiful soup, I imported pandas, and imported time. So without further talking, let's get right into it. So we'll be using JupyterLab for this project. If you don't have it installed, check the link in the description for the link to download it. So let's check the website we'll be scraping. So this is Jumia's website, the computing category. So we'll be scraping data such as the product name, price, discounts, ratings, and reviews. Right. So I'll click on file, click on new notebook. Let's zoom this so you can see. Let me rename this. Rename Jumia web scraper. The first thing we want to do is we want to import libraries that we'll use. Import libraries, import requests from BS4, import beautiful soup, B and S, capital letters, import pandas, speedy, import time. I'll hit my shift and enter, and once you run, it should turn to a 1. Good. So the next thing we want to set our headers to our browser user agent. So I'm going to set user agent. So let's check for browser's user agent. And I'll copy this, Control V. So I'm going to create an empty variable computing URL. And I'll set it to the URL. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it in here. But the issue with this is that if we leave it like this, it's going to scrape just the first page. And we don't want that, right? Because this website has over about 50 pages, right? So if we scroll down here and we click here, let's scroll down. Yeah, it has exactly 50 pages and we want to get all 50, so I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to replace it, Control V. Well, if we leave it like this, it's going to only copy the last pages, so I will replace the 50 with a placeholder of page. So that should copy the entire, that should scrape the entire 50 pages. So set and square brackets, response, and we'll set our response to request dot get computing URL, and we'll set our headers to headers. We'll set our soup to beautiful soup and B capital as capital 2. Response dot content, and we'll pass our HTML there. So we want to print the status code, right, to see if we've successfully accessed the web page. So status code, that should be inside. We'll set it to response dot status code. So if we get a status code of 200, it means we've successfully accessed Jumia's website. So I'm going to hit my shift and enter. We have an error. All right. I think we missed an S here. Good. The next I want to do is I want to print our HTML content. So I'm going to do print and soup.prettify. So let's see what we've gotten so far from Jumia's website. Alright, so this is what we've gotten, the HTML content. Alright, as you can see, we've gotten the body of the website. So let's clear this. So here's where we'll put our main code that will loop through page 1 to 50. So for page in range 1 through 51, settings. So let me add a comment here. Go through page 1 all the way to 50. Print, so we want our scraper to print scraping computing page, telling us the exact page it's scraping. So scraping computing page, and we'll put in a placeholder here, so page dot dot dot. We'll set our URL to computing URL dot format, set our page to page. Same as before, we ask Jumia for the page HTML, as we want to pretend to be a browser, right? So we'll do our request that get URL, and we'll set our headers as we've done earlier. So let's try to handle field requests, right? If response that status code, if it's not 200, if it's not 200, if not equals to 200, right? We want it to print skipping page. This way, if we have any issue, our scraper cannot scrape a particular page, it should just tell us and skip it. Insert placeholder, insert continue. So I'm trying to get the right indentation. Good. So we'll set our soup to beautiful soup, B capital letter, and our S should be in capital letters. So response.content, and here we'll pass our HTML parser. And we'll set our items to soup dot find all. And here's where it gets interesting, because we want to get the HTML tags and classes of all the labels we are looking for. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to click on inspect, and I'll click here so I could select. Right, let me get this. I got this. Yes. So if we scroll up, we can see that every card is in an article tag with a class of PRD, FB, CPRD, right? So this is what we'll call on. So we are going to type in article, and we'll set the class, open quote, PRD spacebar underscore FB. So PRD spacebar underscore FB, C minus PRD minus PRD. Did I get that correctly? Okay, I did. So this is it. So for items, in items, this is where we search inside each product block, right, for its details. So our title, we are going to create a variable and store the title, which is going to be items dot find, and here it's in a history tag, right? The element here is history, right? And how did I know that? So if we go here, let's say we are looking for title, right? You can see, um, let me click here. So this is our title, right? You can see it's in the history tab with the class of name. So we are going to type our history, and we'll set the class, which is name. So the tag is history, the class there is name. So I'm feeling lazy, so I'll copy this and I'll paste it again, and I'll change it to price. And this let's check. You can see the class here is PRC. So I'll change this to div and the class name to PRC. I'll copy this again, enter, paste, and change this to old price. I already know the HTML tags and classes of each, so I'm just going to change that to badge discount. Same for discount. So it's basically going to be the same things for rating, reviews, and badges. And you have to make sure it's widely indented. Oh, I think there's a mistake here. I think we made a mistake. So let me correct this, and I'll paste it here. I'll change this to old. I made a mistake with the classes, so I've corrected that. So I'm going to set them our reviews to item.find, and we are going to put in a div, and the class here is ref. So div class, oh, oh, no, okay, set this to ref, my quotes, yes. I'll set our badges badges. I'll set it same item.find. I'll set it to a span, and we'll set our class to BDG. Alright, so we've basically gotten all our items with their tags and their classes. The next thing we want to do is we want to extract and clean the text from each item. Just in case something is missing, we could give it a default. So computing, I like using small letters, computing dot append. Right, we are basically cleaning this. So I'm going to do title dot text dot strip from parentheses. So if title, else no title. So in the case whereby it's empty, it should just fill it in with no title, right? We'll do the same for price. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. No price. I'll do the same thing again. and get old price. Double click. No discount. Windows V. Okay. I'll do my Windows again. Get my ratings. Copy reviews and paste it here. 0 else 0 reviews. Delete this. So we are going to join the string. This is for badges. Text dot string. So open parenthesis for B in badges. Right. So if badges, else no badges. Okay, I think we are good here. All right. So we want to set in a sleep to avoid IP bans using the time import we imported above, right? So let me get tab. So time we'll set it to sleep, and we'll set it to sleep for 2 seconds so we don't get banned. So if we've done our code correctly, I think this should run. We have an error. I think we missed a colon somewhere. Line 12 is all right. So it's creeping, and for the sake of time, we'll take a quick break and come back later. Let's try to save our data. So we'll save it with data frame. So pd dot capital data frame. Open it, and we'll put in computing columns. We want to set our columns where we'll have our data. So open an empty list and impute title, price. Next we want old price, then discount, next is rating, reviews, and badges. So I'm going to save this as CSV so we could access it. So df to CSV, and I'm going to give it the name of Jumia computing, and with double G because already I did this already. So I'm putting a double G since I already have it, and I'm going to set index to false. Just enter. So we've saved it, and let's check the first 5 rows. As you can see, this is the first 5 rows of our data. So if you come here, you will see our data.